Alright lads, I wanted to do a video that no one else has ever done. Something that had totally changed the YouTube game. But I couldn't think of anything like that, so I'm doing my top 10 songs of all time instead. Now, take this list with a pinch of salt, because this could change from day to day. If I made this list in an hour's time, I guarantee at least 5 of the songs would have changed. Anyways, on to the honourable mentions. I'm not doing honourable mentions. It says top 10. I'm doing 10. So that's that. Anyways, let's get on with it. Now, number 10 isn't actually in the list through any musical merit, which is a bit odd considering this is a top 10 songs of all time. But I couldn't not include it, and it is, as many of you may have guessed, or as no one would have guessed because I've not told you any hints. Stupid thing to say. It's Dave Clark 5 with Glad All Over. It has to be in there because it's the Crystal Palace goal music that plays every time we score a goal. We're all there in the Homestead Road, in the Arthur Waite, in the main stand, in the White Horse going, glad all over, yes I'm glad all over. And it has to be in there for that reason. The call and response is interesting, although it's not a totally unheard of thing. It is quite interesting the way they got that going on. I like the little at the start on the keyboards. It's got a great drum line. It's good beats, fucking pounding through the song. And on the chorus it goes boom boom psh. I really like that. And I like the way the song ends. The ending's good, and a song that ends good is always enjoyable, because a song that just repeats the chorus again and again and again, fading out, is shocking. Although I think some of the songs on this list may do that. Anyways, let's move on to number 9. Now, number nine, it's not that song. It's Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run, because he pours his fucking heart into that song, doesn't he? And it's got great lyrics, which is always good in a song. I want to die with you, Mary, on the streets tonight in an everlasting kiss. What a line that is. And the chorus is, you're just belting it out when the song's on. You're just fucking belting it. And that is what you want from a song, to elicit that sort of emotion in you, where you're just involuntarily shouting it out, screaming, and afterwards, after the song ends, you're in a moment of post-musical clarity. And it's just fabulous. It's a great song. Great lyrics. The instrumentation, it's a bit of a wall of sound, but it works. It's not overbearing. It matches the emotion of the song, the heaviness of the track. I think it's fantastic. And the you know straight away what song it is. And the little drum roll at the start, need I say more? Great track. Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run, in at number 9. Now at number 8, it's a song probably not a lot of you would have seen coming. And it's Françoise RD with Tous les garçons et les filles, and it's the only foreign song in this list. And I was just thinking, if you're belting it out and it's in French, and you're belting out every word, you know it's a good song. If you go to the effort of learning what the words mean, although I do already have a decent background knowledge of French, you know, je parle un petit peu français. Parlez-vous français? Alors, no, not alors. Fucking waffling. Anyways, if you go to the effort of learning the words in English and you're belting it out fully in French, you know it's a good song. And I love that opening riff. And her voice has got such a tenderness to it, such an innocence, but also such a hurt. Maybe a naive melancholy, but still a real feeling in it. I think it's brilliant. The words are so simple. It tells a story, it tells a relatable story. It's about how she's looking, and all the blokes and the birds who are her age, to the garçons and les filles, de ménage, all the boys and the girls my age. She's looking at them, and they're all walking down the road in pairs. They're knocking about, smiling, laughing. They know what it is to be happy, and she doesn't, because she's hurt and she's all on her own. And it's one of them songs where you walk down the road on your own in the sun, and you're seeing all the couples, and despite the happy weather, you ain't feeling happy because you're all on your own. It's one of them songs. Maybe I've opened up a bit too much here, but I love that song. I think it's fantastic. And I like how it just slows down at the end and comes that sort of whimper finish. Because I know I've said like a song to finish bombastically, but the emotion in this song, it doesn't need that. It needs to fizzle out. And it does fizzle out. Not fade out. I fucking hate songs that fade out. It's a fizzle. Like like a train breaking down, like your car running out of gas, because that's how she feels. And the music matches with the feelings. It's got a melancholic but slightly youthful feeling to it. I've waffled far too long about Françoise Hardy, but I love Françoise Hardy, so it was always going to happen. Now this next song, I'm going to avoid a copyright claim. I'm going to play it for you on my keyboard on my phone. Now that may not sound that good, but that's probably because it's being played on a Samsung MIDI keyboard. Anyways, There's a Reason Why I Never Return Your Calls by Blossoms. And I love a song that keeps it simple and fucking does it right. And this is one of them, because that piano riff, when you play it on a decent keyboard, it's one key at a time. No chords, none of that bollocks. Duh, 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 duh. But fucking when you're at a festival, as I will be in May at Neighbourhood Weekender, seeing Blossoms, when you're there and they're playing that and the whole crowd singing the riff, then you know it's a good riff. Arctic Monkeys have it as well. The crowd sing the riffs. That's how you know you've written a good riff. Anyways, lyrics tells a nice little story. That's not the main focus. The main focus is that piano part and the chorus. The chorus is so singable. Anyone who you know who likes Blossoms, or if they've heard that song, even if they don't like the rest of their songs, if you put that on a night out and they've had a couple of wines, they are fucking belting that. And they're stood up, jumping, belting that song. And that's how you know it's well written. It's one of them. It's one of them songs. And if you've gone through a breakup and you're feeling like the bloke in the song, as I did, with the girl who lived down the end of the road, who I can't say any more about or she'll kill me. Well, no, I'm fairly sure there's no way she's going to see this. I'm waffling. If you relate to the experience, the song gets that extra layer of emotion. And I feel like a lot of people have had a romantic relationship similar to the one in the song. Anyways, that's enough about that. Let's move on to the next one. Right, so this one might be slightly surprising. It's a grime song, and it's Dave with Thiago Silva. I did consider having Stormzy with Big for Your Boots, but having listened to the two, I think I slightly prefer this one. The wordplay in it's good, which is always a good start. I'm not sure what's his best, but people know the words. People know the words. Because I once at a party, I'm going a bit mental here saying all this. I once at a party, in Sam's backyard, me and matey both know all the words, and we was going at it, having fucking word for word, bar for bar, the whole song the way through. And when that song ended, the fucking bear I got off this guy, it was emotional, man. Anyways, Dave, Thiago Silva. Obviously, Alex from Glastonbury, famous moment. So that adds an extra dimension to it. But it's a good song. It's got a good beat. The hi-hats, the classic grime, 140 BPM hi-hats, fantastic. At their best here. One of their best performances, the hi-hats. It's a nice beat. I like the way it kicks in, where it gets slowly louder, because you hear the quiet bit at the start, you're like, it's Thiago Silva. And then by the time you're like, fucking psyched, then it kicks in and it gets loud and Dave starts rapping. AJ Tracey's on this as well. He does brilliantly. He's got good bars. I like the structure of it. I like how the flow's consistent and then it divulges at the end. In the third verse, the flow changes, but the beat stays consistent, and it just shows how good they are rappers, really, to be honest. Chorus is very good. What more can I say? An excellently crafted grime record. That's Thiago Silva for you. Let's move on. Now this one is probably slightly surprising. It is Ebenezer Good by the Shaman. There's many reasons I've picked this one. Partly because you know I love a piano riff, like I said with the Blossoms one. And this one's got and it's fucking brilliant. It's amazing. The drums, well, the drum machine, it's not real drums. The electronic guys go boom, 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 keeps it going the whole way through. The rapper does a good job. I love how they use he's as ease, like ecstasy, and it says ease are good, ease are good. Got on the radio, BBC Radio on Anti-Drug Week. This in the charts, pumping out ease are good. The way they got around it was genius. I just think it's fantastic. Fantastic record, great chorus that you belt out, jumping up and down, great instrumentation. I like the little sample of the woman's voice as well. All around fantastic, fantastic record. Let's move on. Now, this spot was originally occupied by I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, because I knew I wanted an Arctic Monkeys song in here. I knew I couldn't go without one. It was originally I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, but I feel like there's other songs in this list which fulfil that sort of vibe of a song that you belt on a night out. So I wanted a more introspective one instead. And I've gone for Only Ones Who Know off of Favourite Worst Nightmare. And what a tune it is. Great lyrics. I like the melancholic vibe. I like the sound of it. The sound of it, it's heavy, it's overwhelming, like the emotions they're feeling. And it's sort of washy. It's like the whole song's underwater. I can't really explain what I mean by that, but I know what I mean. I like the little story it tells. And some of the lyrics are amazing. I like it how it does that thing where you think it's going to rhyme, one rhyme, and then it swaps the rhyme because it goes, how's it go? What is it saying? I bet she told a million people that you'd stay in touch and all those little promises that don't mean much when there's memories to be made, and I hope you're holding hands by New Year's Eve, because it sounds like it's going to be made and New Year's Day, but they change it to Eve, and then something true romance can't be achieved, these days. But it's just a fantastic song, very emotional, very teary. I once sang it on the top of a hill in Swindon, because I was cycling to Swindon and it came on, and I thought, you know what, I'm all on my own, there's no one near me, I'm just going to have a sing. I'm going to stand here and have a sing, and I did, and it was lovely. Anyways, I'm quickly proving why I'm not a musical journalist, because the amount of waffle I'm chatting is exponentially growing with every song. Anyways, we're about to move into the top 3, so get your fucking medals out, lads. Get your Zenith Data Systems Cup winners medal out, because we're going for bronze. Now, at number 3, I'm sure you're delighted to hear, it's a Beatles song. We all know there was going to be one in here, but which one is it? Get your guesses in now, I'll give you a moment. It's not that one, it's She Loves You, because I feel like it's the quintessential Beatles song. It's got a great riff, it's got a great chorus. I love the chorus. It's just pop glory. It's probably the best pop song ever written. It's fantastic at what it does. And it's also got woo! And any Beatles song that's got that in is immediately fantastic. Woo! They invented that, and it's changed pop culture. I often find myself doing that in the middle of songs that don't have it in. Songs it really doesn't suit, like Mr. Bojangles or something like that. I'm waffling. She Loves You tells a story concisely in a few verses. It's the perfect length for a song. It's got a great BPM where it's not fucking raving, but it's got the right amount of energy. You can listen to it while you're doing a patio, building a cavity wall, painting. It's a great DIY song. The Beatles, the ultimate writers of songs to listen to while you're doing up the house. Anyway, that's third out of the way. Let's move on to second. Now at second, I could have gone for a variety of songs. I knew I wanted a song by The Jam, as in Paul Weller, Bruce Foxton, whoever the drummer was, old fella. It's a bit of a three-way clash, this. I didn't know if I wanted That's Entertainment, the demo version with the drums in it, Going Underground, or Little Boy Soldiers. But I've decided to go for Little Boy Soldiers because that opening guitar part is fantastic. And the way the words juxtapose it is also brilliant. The story itself is, I think, is fantastic. The way it presents the story in such an angry way that it's a very emotional song, I think, and I think it's fantastic. I like the different movements it goes through. I like how it starts out one way, then goes to a completely different song with a bum ba bum ba bum ba bum bum, the wall drums, and then it goes back to the first part, which you probably weren't expecting to happen, and then it comes back in at a slightly higher pace. It's like a conclusion to the story. It's got a cyclical structure, and overall, it's a masterpiece. I love it. It's fantastic, and that final line, where the bloke in the song dies, because Little Boy Soldiers, it's a soldier and he dies, and they send you home in a piled up coat, or a pine overcoat. It might be pine overcoat, but they send you home wrapped up in a coat with a letter to your mum and a medal and a note to say he won. Despite the fact it's talking about the futility of war, really. I've waffled far too much now. Anyway, we're going to move on to the final song. That's not how you typically do a drum roll, but I think it's created the right amount of anticipation for the final song. Right, number 1, my favourite song of all time. Might be a surprise. It's Up the Junction by Squeeze. I don't know if I'll be able to correctly articulate the brilliance of this piece of music, but I'll do my best. So the first thing that comes to mind is the title of the song is the last 3 words. It's got no chorus, it's just verses, which I like because I think it divulges from the traditional pop method of having a chorus that repeats to engage familiarity. It doesn't do that because life doesn't work like that. There is no familiarity. It's one story that goes all the way through. You don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know if you're going to like what's going to happen in your life. And it's a song that starts off happy and then becomes tragic because of the story it tells. And I like a song that does that because it draws you in with a false sense of security and it turns it on its head. I remember the first time I heard it, it fucking blew me away. I thought, this is amazing. The story it tells so concisely, there's nothing there you can cut out. It's all meat. There's no flab in this song. And that line, I beg for some forgiveness, but begging's not my business. And I like the half rhymes. It's full of half rhymes, words that don't actually rhyme, but in the flow of the song they do rhyme. A bit like what Eminem does with Orange and Door Hinge, that sort of thing. All through the song, it's fantastic. And a piano part, it plays at the start, and then once you've learned the whole story, it starts off cheery, you learn the whole story, and it has the sad ending, obviously, the tragic ending to the song, and then it plays the piano part again, and you see it in a different light. Knowing what you do, you see it in a different light. Anyways, that's my top 10 songs of all time. This might be a totally crap video. In fact, I imagine it's an absolute load of shite and potentially completely unwatchable. But we'll leave it there. If you've made it this far, clearly I've done better than I thought I did. We're gonna go. We're gonna call it a day now. I'm gonna turn the lights off. That's all right, and leave you in the dark. There's light leaking in through the roof, so you can still see how visible my lovely high-vis jacket is. Right, we'll call it a day there. Bye-bye.